Hello and welcome back to Mr. Miller's Art Room. Today we have a very special project. We're going to be creating a Tyrannosaurus Rex using basic shapes. Basic shapes, when combined with each other in different directions, sizes, and what have you, can create pictures that we recognize. As a very simple example, let me show you this. This shape right here that I'm about to draw is a square. Would we all agree?
Yes, I agree. That is a square.
And this shape right here is a triangle. But if I combine these two shapes together, I create...
Mr. Miller, you created a house.
Yep, it looks like a house. Now obviously, it's just a triangle and a square. And by themselves, we only saw these two things as a triangle and a square. But when combined together and organized on a piece of paper like this, we see what looks to us like a house.
It's like magic.
Well, actually it is. Artists who understand the fundamentals of how to utilize shapes, their principles of overlapping and emphasis, can create pictures that make you and I see cartoons or plans for architecture or paintings.
This is all well and good, Mr. Miller, but what does this have to do with drawing a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
When I was a little kid, I always asked my teachers in elementary school every year if we were going to learn about dinosaurs, and they always told me, yes, we're going to have a dinosaur unit. But you know what? Every year, we never had one. So I would go to the library and I would take out books on dinosaurs. But the real problem was I couldn't read. I didn't learn how to read until many, many years later in high school. However, what I could do was draw. And I tried drawing dinosaurs all the time. And one of the things that I learned is that when you look at the parts, particularly of a T-Rex, different parts of the dinosaur kind of look like different shapes. So today, we're going to try to draw a dinosaur. Well, specifically, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You're going to need a pencil, an eraser, and a Sharpie, and something to color your picture with, such as crayons, oil pastels, or paint. Step 1. In order to draw a dinosaur, specifically a Tyrannosaurus Rex, we're going to start with the head and the tail. The head is going to be a rectangle diagonal. I want you to put your finger on the paper, move to the left, and move a little bit up. And this is where our rectangle is going to occupy. We're going to go ahead and draw a rectangle like so. Now what we're going to do is draw the tail. We're going to put our finger in the middle of the paper, move to the right, then draw a medium-sized tail. You don't want the tail to be too long because then the body is going to be really, really small. You don't want the tail to be too short because then the body's going to be really, really big. You want it just about that size, about the size, the length of your 4 fingers. Now we're going to do the body. One of the things I learned about drawing the Tyrannosaurus Rex when I was little is that the body is kind of like an oval. What you're going to do is take your pencil, put your pencil point on the end of the tail in the middle of the vertical line. Vertical means up and down. We're going to draw an oval, but we're not going to let it touch the rectangle. We're going to stop just before the rectangle, and then we're going to come back. It's going to look kind of like an egg. We're going to go all the way up, down, and back again. If yours looks like mine, excellent. If it's different, that's fine. Just like us, human beings, we are all human beings. We all look similar, but we look very much different in a lot of different ways. If your Tyrannosaurus Rex looks like mine, or does not look like mine and looks different than everybody else's, that's fine too. The next step is that we need to draw the Tyrannosaurus Rex legs. The way it works is that the legs are kind of in the form of a zigzag. Now, we're not going to use a zigzag line because we want to draw shapes. What we're going to do is we're going to draw a diagonally down pointing rectangle in this form, like this. So that's 1, Then we're going to draw a second one right here. 2, going in this direction. Then we're going to draw a third and final rectangle going in this direction, like so. And as you can see, it looks like a zigzag, or a lightning bolt is another thing that you can say. The next thing is that we're going to need to draw the bottom claw of the toe. A claw is basically a curved triangle. Take your pencil point, put it on the end of the foot, draw a curved triangle, and come back. And there's your claw. Tyrannosaurus rex infamously has very tiny little hands. They have 3 claws on each hand. However, we're only going to worry about the 2. The way that you do that is this. You're going to draw 2 parallel, small, curved lines that point downward. Now, don't get mistaken. These are not the 2 arms. That's just going to be for one arm. In order to make it one arm, what we're going to do is start here, put our pencil point on one of the lines, and make 2 curved triangles or claws. And now we have a Tyrannosaurus rex arm.
What are we going to do for the second arm, Mr. Miller?
Well, we're just going to copy the same process. We're going to draw 1, 2 parallel. That means 2 lines going in the same direction next to each other. Then we're going to draw 2 curved triangles or claws. Now what we're going to do is the neck and the tail. For the neck, what we're going to do is take our pencil point, go to the top corner of this rectangle, and draw a curved line down until we touch the oval. Now we're going to take our pencil, put it on the corner of here, of the corner of this rectangle, and move down just a little bit, and then make a curved line down, the same kind of curve, until we touch the oval. In order to finish the tail, all we're going to need to do is take a line from this corner of this triangle and go to the corner of this rectangle. Then we're going to take the corner of this triangle here and move it up to touch the oval. And we have a finished penciled version of our Tyrannosaurus rex. We're going to be utilizing the pen and the eraser like this. The pen is going to be used to make the shape lines permanent, and we're also going to use the pen in order to create different details on the dinosaur. I want you to have fun with this, and you can add the kind of details that you would like. You can make your dinosaur more realistic or more cartoony. It's going to be up to you. One thing I want to let you know is don't color with the Sharpies. We're going to be coloring with our crayons or with our oil pastels or paint, depending on what we choose to use that day. But I don't want to see anybody coloring with this. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace some of these lines. I might choose to not trace some of them. Like for instance, maybe I'm just going to go around here like this. And maybe I won't trace the inside of that oval. But what I will do is do some of this right here and do the claw. It's going to be up to you. You're going to get make the artistic choice to see what you're going to go ahead and trace. Now I'm also going to add some details to this. For instance, I'm going to add an eyeball right here, which is kind of like an almond shape, a slot eye, a nose so he can breathe, maybe a smiley face because he's pretty happy walking around in his jungle, some teeth. Let's see, maybe he's got a little tiny ear right here. Now, one of the cool things that we learned about T-Rex recently is that a lot of dinosaurs actually had feathers. So what I'm going to do is give him a plume of feathers to make him look fancy-free. And it's going to give me a lot of things to color. I did the plume of feathers all the way down. I added some scales. And now let's do a little bit of a background. We got some clouds, a volcano, some distant mountains, and maybe a forest line. After that, we take our eraser, put our hands in the middle of the page, and then push, 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 push. And what we're going to do is get rid of all the extra pencil lines that we don't need anymore. this isn't the only way that you can detail and decorate your dinosaur. If you want to use your own imagination and creativity to do something silly, fun, funny, or interesting, you may do so. Here's a T-Rex using the same techniques, but instead, I made him a sort of beach bum doing a skateboard on a boardwalk there. And this T-Rex was a fun game of malicious compliance with my kids. I asked them to describe to me what details I should add, and I took their word literally. So they told me to add an eye, but they didn't say where, so I added one eye. They said a nose, but they didn't tell me what kind of a nose, so I added this nose. And I just made it really fun, and it was a really fun activity, but it's a very creative way of dealing with the artistic problem.
I cannot wait to see what you come up with. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Good day to you. I said good day.